Atlanta, Season 4, Episode 5, titled Work Ethic. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Grinders and grindettes, I go by the name of the Black Abstract. I urge you to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can do this again. Let's talk about this. I like this episode, and I like the fact that Atlanta is getting back to the basics of what made us love them in seasons 1, 2. And, you know, some people love season 3 as well. I enjoyed it a lot because it was just a different from the norm. But people wanted to see the self-contained characters back in their environment. And what better way to do that is to kind of, I don't know if they're paying homage to Tyler Perry, they're poking fun of him. But Mr. Chocolate and the Black Factory is what came to mind during this episode. Now, if you don't remember the Boondocks episode where they made fun of Tyler Perry, and they were just taking all kinds of shots of him. Damn, I missed the Boondocks. That was such a great show. Imagine if they did a real life adaptation of the Boondocks. That shit would be hilarious. So in tonight's episode, or in the episode that premiere, Donald Glover presents his own parody of Tyler Perry through Van's chaotic day at Mr. Chocolate Studios, which sounds more like an amusement park than an actual movie studio. She's following her friend's advice by taking a small role in one of Kirkwood Chocolate's movies for some extra cash, and so that Lottie, whom she's brought along, has the opportunity to see her mom doing something cool. I thought that was pretty dope. And look at Lottie done sprouted up. They did to Lottie what they did to baby Nicky in Fresh Prince. You remember he was a baby, and the next season he was like a full grown man. So that's what they did with Lottie here. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And I love what her character was doing this episode. You know, she was nailing all her cues and her lines. And listen, I never been on a movie set like that. I've done a movie before, but if that's how it is, are you constantly jumping from set to set to set to set? I'm like, this is chaotic, but that's the business. So anyway, we see that Van admits to an employee on the lot that she hasn't seen much of Chocolate's work. Kind of like me, you know, I'm not really the biggest Tyler Perry fan per se. I've saw like, you know, the classics that he released prior, but when a Tyler Perry movie gets released, I'm not jumping up for joy. I actually heard the one that just got released on Netflix is pretty good, so I'll check that out. But she says the posters on the lot, and it's funny because the posters on the lot and the scenes were being filmed are kind of like Tyler Perry movies, just weird ass titles. There's an actress eating a crack sandwich. There's actresses playing abused black women desperate for love. An advertisement for a movie called Ain't Crazy, and its sequel Still Ain't Crazy. I feel like that's the Kanye West movie. But anyway, my favorite nod to Perry's notoriously Hawkeye style, when a random, extremely handsome, light-skinned maintenance man with a criminal record who is trying to turn his life around approaches Van while she's in makeup, and almost direct nod to the Boondocks episode that I was speaking of earlier. But it's funny because that's how it is. You remember Shamar Moore was in the Tyler Perry movie? He had the fucking braid wig. Same thing with I'm trying to think, was Michael Ealy in the Tyler Perry movie? He probably was. What's his face? Dude that played Ghost, Amari Hardwick. Same type of deal. You know, they had the dark-skinned dude is always the evil one. And then, you know, some light-skinned dude with a criminal record that really ain't shit or really ain't on the level of the main character, but she's in love. I'm like, okay, I get it. Just like Perry's own 330-acre studio in Atlanta, Mr. Chocolate Studios is a sprawling lot with multiple sound stages and office spaces. And from my research, it seems that Perry's Atlanta studio has more than 20 sound stages, including sets for an airplane, a coffee shop, and of course a trailer park, county jail, prison yard, and a courtroom. You guys got to Google this studio when you get a chance. It's amazing, and also I salute that, man, because that's a black man doing all that shit. He Xing out the middleman, and he getting these movies and shit created on his set in his studio, which is in turn more profit for him. I heard the next Avengers movie is actually going to be filmed on Tyler Perry Studios, and I just made that up. But anyway, the entire thing is a larger-than-life operation, but I will tell you, all the Avengers movies and all the sound studios are in Atlanta now, which is dope, but at the same time, I think that They said the weather would be so fucking crucial. But I think the taxes are different out there or something, so it's more beneficial to the people who actually run these studios and the actresses and whatnot. But the entire thing is a larger-than-life operation with a single man pulling all the strings. Atlanta plays on this by interjecting major Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory energy into Van's experiences on the lot. What Van believes will be a quick adventure turns into a pivotal moment for her as a mother. After hair and makeup, Van transforms into the best friend of, you guessed it, a depressed black woman who is in a toxic relationship with a dark-skinned bald man. While shooting the scene, which has a terrible script, Chocolate directs not from the set, but from watching on his camera and from a microphone. And it was fucking weird. I was just like, yo, what's going on here? Like, that's kind of creepy. I'm getting micromanaged everywhere I go. Chocolate directs not from the set, but by watching on his camera in his office and communicating through a loudspeaker, evoking the elusive Wonka. Lottie, being very much her parents' child, loudly tells the abusive husband to shut up. Van apologizes for Lottie's outbursts, but Chocolate's omnipresent voice demands that Lottie join the scene, impressed by her charisma and stage presence. At first, Van is hesitant, but Lottie is eager, so she allows it. Chocolate loves her performance and adds her to the show. Indifferent to how adding a new character this late into a production might inconvenience his employees, his reach is powerful. Without speaking a word, his threatening silence stops the PA from questioning his choice any further. Van takes Lottie to wardrobe to get her fitted, and a woman working in the costume department can sense her unease. Van expresses her concern putting Lottie on screen at such a young age, but the woman imparts Christian-inspired advice based on a Bible verse telling her, whoever is not open to the joys of a child. Taking advice, Van tells Lottie, who is having the time of her life, playing with the clothes, that if she ever feels uncomfortable, she just has to give her mom a thumbs down and they can leave, no questions asked. Lottie is then shuffled around from this stage to this stage. Van's chasing her around trying to figure out what's going on. And listen, she got 14 scenes in progress of the project's Mr. Chocolate Studios, not once turning her thumb down for her mother. They move her around so quickly that Van eventually loses track of her, and she just goes into panic mode. And then she's trying to figure out. And listen, they had the everybody cleared the soundstage studio, and Van was just like, "Give me my daughter back." And then you see him come on the speaker, said, "No." I was like, yo, that had me chuckling. I ain't gonna even lie. That had me chuckling for a minute. I was just like, yo, this is fucking stupid. It's just stupid as hell. At this point, Van is angry about being separated from Lottie and tired of playing into the charade that Chocolate is somehow a renowned author of black film. She goes in on the scripts and cracks sandwiches and blatantly says, just because you won black awards doesn't mean his work is good. One of his employees responds with the famous Issa Rae quote, "I'm rooting for everybody black," to which Van asks, "Even OJ?" And they say, "Even OJ." I was like, yeah. I love this show so much, man. Van eventually finds she eventually finds out where Chocolate's headquarters are, and he's being guarded like he's the king of Wakanda, with some guys in, African garb. How the African guards got that green, that military green. Until the grandma actually pulls a real pistol out and shoots one of the guys, and they tell her, "Listen, these are just fake guns. We don't really want no problems." I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So now inside his office, Van comes face to face with Kirkwood Chocolate, who turns out to be Glover himself, and this had me killing over laughing, dude. I was just like, at first I was like, who is this? Then I said, no, I know that's not Donald Glover. That is Donald Glover. That shit had me fucking die. I love when he does this, man. This is why he is one of the GOATs, because little shit like that, And I know a lot of people have done this before where they play different characters, in a particular project, example, Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor, Martin, Big Mama's House. But I'm like, yo, I love it. I just like it. It's just, and when it's done correctly, it's a lot of people that do it and don't do it correctly. Rail, or Little Rail. Sorry. Anyway, he's in special effects makeup that has him looking like a bald, bloated, pretentious playwright with tiny glasses and a parrot poised on his head. Like the iconic Teddy Perkins episode, reminded of how Glover is a comedy man at heart. That's what I just said. Kirkwood is another eccentric character. He's been banging on the piano, gifted to him by Steve Jobs, that produces scripts as he slams non-aesthetically on the keys. Watching him churn out pages and pages of writing is another poignant critique of Perry, who proudly proclaimed he writes everything on his own without collaborating with a writer's room. I think that changed as of a couple of years ago. I think he did say he got a writer's room because he didn't have time no more. And I'm like, you know how much better your projects would be if you have writers? Like, that's time consuming, first of all, to do that. Secondly, things could just turn out one note because you're not drawing in other ideas from other people. Yes, it's the work ethic is there and the genius of it there, but like I said, it's kind of one note. You're not pulling these ideas from other people and coming out with the best possible project because in your head, I got the best possible project. It's no, you can't do that, man. And that's why, I don't really watch some of his shit because it's like, dude, like, I don't know. I like Tyler Perry, but I don't really care for his movies like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. And listen, if you know a good Tyler Perry show or movie that I should be watching, post it in the comments below. Also, Van assists, he returned Lottie to her. Kirkwood tells her it's beyond his control as the entire operation now runs independently. He describes Mr. Chocolate Studios as his child, a daughter he protects and guides but doesn't process. Van threatens to call the police, and Kirkwood screams in her face that he can do whatever he wants. She throws some of the hot grits he's been cooking at his face and declares that he's a con man who creates unrelatable shit that takes advantage of the people he say he's trying to help. And that was hilarious too when she threw the grits. She said, I'm okay. I love it, man. He said, I'm okay. I'm sorry. All right. It says Lottie's brought back to the office now that things are escalating, but Kirkwood uses his camera footage to demonstrate exactly how relatable his work is. He shows her how she's struggling single mother with a firmly incarcerated light-skinned love interest, a dark-skinned baby daddy, and a gun-touting Christian grandma. He offers Lottie a contract for her own 6-season show, an idea Lottie enjoys, but Van refuses it and ignores it. Lottie's Lottie's temper sorry, I can't read this word. Lottie's temper tantrum back at home. She tells Lottie she understands that she was enjoying herself and she's sorry and won't have to be on the show. She then gives her daughter a talk. Most little girls hear many times. You represent something, and I know it isn't fair, but what you do matters a lot, and I just really want you to be old enough to decide what you want to represent because I can't always protect you, she says, echoing the voices of many black moms who came before her. So listen, I like this episode. I like the self-contained episodes when they do stuff like this, where it focuses kind of on one character. And listen, man, let's be honest. Van is very easy to look at on the eyes. I was the whole time when she first came in, I was just like, look at her, like, and I know she don't even be trying to be like sexy or nothing, but she just is. And aside from that, I think she's a great actress who really pulls a lot into this role. I will say I'm gonna be fairly upset when this show comes to an end. But the good thing is that, it'll always live on because we have streaming. And I believe this is one of those shows, once it goes off the air, it will become a phenomenon like, The Wire, like Seinfeld, like all these other great shows that a lot of people probably didn't start watching that much until they went off the air, and it was kind of like, yo, what's this? You know what I mean? And then they might be forced to do one more season just for fan service. But we'll see what happens. Post your comments below. I would love to hear what you guys thought about this episode. Do me a favor, please. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as always, peace, love, and prosperity. I go by the name of the Black Abstract One.